What is up, all you beautiful souls? Just wrapping up at the Peace Trails house for the day. I was thinking on a topic, what used to hinder a lot of any of my personal goals in life. And it hindered a lot of them, actually, now that I think about it. And I've been thinking about it a lot today on what things hindered my progress in my life the most. And I'm going to get into that. So I think one of the biggest things that hindered my progress in life was as simple as having a difficult time saying no. As silly as that sounds, I was raised this way. And I don't want people to get this misconstrued, and I'll dive into that as well. I was raised this way. Make sure you put others first. Make sure you put everybody ahead of you before you do anything for you. And maybe that's not what they meant, but that's what I took it as. So I that was a core belief of mine. And that's what I did. And to be honest with you, that is the quickest way to being depressed, always feeling anxious, and never accomplishing anything for yourself. Am I saying be completely 1000% selfish? No. What I am saying is, if you live by that motto, you'll never do for you. And we're people of purpose. We are supposed to be purpose-driven. I believe we're supposed to build. Whatever that is, right? Whatever your purpose is. It might be knitting Afghans. I don't care. But I feel like we are people of purpose. And if we are a yes man or a yes woman and we can never say no, we can never say no to somebody, you'll live a life of anxiety, depression, worry, maybe even worse. Maybe it might turn into some addictions and so on and so forth, as it did in my life. One of the most valuable lessons I have ever learned is the ability to say no. Not because you don't want to, because it doesn't fit in your schedule. And no is a complete sentence. You do not owe anybody an explanation. You do not owe anybody an explanation of why you say no. That ain't me saying you got to be a jerk about it, but this is what's going to happen when you do begin to say no. Here's what's going to happen. That whole time you were a yes man, those people that were surrounded by you, they're going to be in shock the first time you tell them no, because that's not the character they know. They're going to be in shock. They might take it as an insult. Let them take it however they want. But here's the truth. If you don't focus on you and your goals and dreams and visions in life, you'll be miserable. I'm telling you. I did it for the majority of my life. I dropped everything for everybody all the time. And what happened when I began to say no, some people fell off completely. They don't even call me no more. They don't text message me. They don't nothing. And that's okay. I don't take it personal. I'm busy, right? And it's not just about being busy, but I have goals I'm going after. I'm trying to build a future. And the thing is you go through this like a no man's land type of time period where once I began to do that, I didn't have anybody surrounding me. Patty and the kids. Everybody else is kind of just like, apparently I didn't work out for them because I said no or whatever, right? And it went through like a lonely process a little bit, but I was okay with that. I was focusing on myself for the first time in my life. And it felt good. I was investing into myself. And look, I wanted to clarify something. The people I always dropped everything for and said yes to every single day, 365 days a year, it doesn't matter what I was doing. I'm not blaming them. This was my fault, because I was not able to say no, nor was I able to put myself before others. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you never put yourself before others, you'll struggle and you'll never reach any of your goals. You have to be selfish to become selfless. You cannot give people the best version of you if you have no time to work on you. That's just facts. So I'm not saying the way I was brought up or that core belief in me is 100% wrong. But if you put everybody before you all the time, you'll live a miserable life. I promise you that. You'll never feel satisfied. Never. And you'll never ever be able to do anything with your life. This happens often. I see it in a lot of people. And they believe that. Put everybody else before you. What are you? So who's going to do it for you? Who's going to build your life? Who's going to pay your bills? Who's going to take care of your family? Nobody. Nobody's going to do that for you. Nobody. The only person that's going to do that for you is you. And hopefully your partner helps contribute to that, right? So I got lonely for quite some time, and I just focused on working on myself. And multiple years later, I began to meet other people that was working on themselves. And I built relationships with some of those people. And instead of me having to drop everything I'm doing, or choosing to drop everything I'm doing, let me rephrase that, I chose to, and run and never be able to say no, now these relationships I have, I get phone calls and they're providing me with opportunities. It's a different calibration of relationship. I was a yes man. I could not say no. Today, I'm 100% confident with saying no if it will not fit into my schedule. Does that mean I'm not willing to help people? Absolutely not. I still help people all the time. It's just got to be outside of my schedule. It can't interfere with what I have scheduled throughout the day. You may say, well, that's rude. Okay, well, if that's rude, would you like to pay my bills? Are you going to make sure I'm fed? Are you going to pay my auto insurance? Are you going to pay the gas that goes in my vehicle? Are you going to pay for my home? Are you going to pay for Patty to get her nails done? Are you going to pay for her to get her hair cut? Are you going to pay for our dog food and cat food? I'm going to guess no. Right? You can't do that. Right? So it's not selfish to put yourself first. If you put others before yourself all the time, you will live a life of regret. I'm telling you, the older you get, the more you'll regret it. I am telling you this. And I'm not telling you not to be humble, and I'm not telling you not to do kind things for people. Do that. Make sure you allocate, an hour a week to do something nice for somebody else without expectations for something back. But they can't get your whole week. If they get your whole week, I hope they're paying your bills. That's all I'm saying. I hope they're paying your bills and everything else. And that was one of the hardest things for me to overcome, is being the yes man. Because I enjoyed doing things for others, but the problem with it was it never, ever allowed time for myself. So I would get depressed and I would drink and I would resort to other shit. And it just was a downward spiral for me. So I guess what I'm trying to convey is that old saying, put others before yourself, that is not a healthy moral boundary. That will actually detriment your life. That will actually harm and take from your family. If you knew a habit or something was taking from your family of what it could be, wouldn't you want to alter that a little bit so you could get a better outcome for your family? Maybe your kids could have healthier food. Maybe your kids could have... Uh-oh. We got an accident up here? Maybe your kids could get the tennis shoes they want instead of the other ones. I don't know what's going on here. We got a cop here. We got a trailer. Huh. Looks like he's escorting them. That's interesting. Anyways. But yeah, so in my opinion, putting everybody before yourself will do more harm than good. I'm grateful that I found something that will help build my future while still providing some value to people's life. I think that's where I found my purpose in life. Through being a service to others. I can now go and help others and it fulfill my purpose, because I've always had the desire. My friend used to joke. It's a funny story. My buddy Scott used to joke when I was young, because every time I came over, I'd do his dishes, I'd clean his kitchen, I'd do this, I'd do that. He's like, dude, one day you're gonna make a good house bitch. Excuse my language, but I'm telling you exactly what he told me. And I'm just like, oh, really? I laughed at that moment, right? As a joke, but here I am. Look what I'm doing for a living. Kind of insane, isn't it? It's kind of crazy that he predicted that 20 years, 25 years in advance. But what I'm really getting at is, it's not your obligation to always put others before yourself. I think that is a bad thing on the moral background to live on. I don't think it's beneficial to you or your family. You know, that, again, ladies and gentlemen, please understand. This is not me saying don't ever do something nice for people. Will get it misconstrued and they'll judge and whatever. Let them do whatever they want. But the truth is, I have never met a great person that has accomplished great things in life. And them great things might just be a roof over their head, a vehicle for their children and spouse, and food on their table. And that is a great thing. That is a great accomplishment. That is a great accomplishment. They didn't get there by putting everybody else before themselves. You cannot do that, and that is not selfish. I actually think it's selfish of others that think you should drop everything you're doing and go run to their aid regardless of what's in your schedule. That is selfish. It's actually the opposite way around of a way that I was kind of taught to be growing up. Make sure you put everybody before yourself. Terrible idea. And I'm not knocking my family, period. That was instilled in them. Right? And I've seen it all my life. I've seen all my life that my family would do things for others before doing things for themselves. And it never has a good outcome. I'm not saying doing good deeds for people doesn't have a good outcome, because that does. And like I said, do that, but schedule that into your routine. Don't just drop everything you're doing on your schedule to fit into somebody else's. It is not healthy. It is not healthy for you or your family. And there's people that'll do that their entire life, and they'll wonder why they're stuck. They're depressed. I go out of my way and do everything for everybody else. I do all this stuff for people, and I'm just miserable. Well, that's why, because you're never doing anything for yourself. Look, man, we got one life. You have to do for you and your family. That is not me saying, hey, everybody in the community, let's all just be selfish and never give anybody a helping hand. I offer helping hands daily when my tasks are done. When my 5 critical tasks are done for the day, that is when I have free time to do things for others. Or in between jobs. Right? So if I could give one piece of information, there's about 5 things I'd give, but if I give one piece of information to somebody coming up struggling, I would say this. Do nice things for others, but put yourself before that. Make sure you're straight before you're trying to make somebody else straight. It's really hard to help others become more valuable or add value to their life when you don't even apply that value you're trying to add into other people's life into your own life. You could add better quality to their life if you would add value to your life. Because you'll be a better version of yourself. You'll be a 2.0 version of you, which you then can dish that out to the people you want to help, which in then turn will help them better than it would if you are not allocating any time to yourself. Moral of the story is help other people, but don't make it your core belief to put others before yourself, ever. I do not think, and I stand on that is a healthy core belief. It is unhealthy. I've seen it in my life far too many times. Life is short here. I know we think when we're in our 20s and 30s, we got all our life to live and it's just going to keep going forever. It's not. It's not going to happen. So whatever your dreams, passions, and aspirations are, it is our responsibility to make them become a reality. It is not your responsibility to make other people's dreams become a reality or other people's lives the way they want them. Unless, and if that is what you love to do, I encourage you to start a service-based business or a product-based business, whatever. Because then you are putting yourself first in the day as well as helping other people. So you're filling two voids. You are now fulfilling a purpose. You are now purpose-driven. Purpose-driven life alleviates so much anxiety, stresses, worries. It is unbelievable. One of the most impactful things that's ever happened in my life, one, has begun to work on myself. Two, has begun the startup of this business right here. Because this business right here, regardless of what I'm doing or what service I'm providing, fulfills my purpose. It allows me to work on me, and it also allows me to give back. That makes me sleep good at night. My anxiety attacks I used to have all the time, I'm not saying they never come up again, because in business, there's a lot on your plate. Hopefully. If so, that's a good thing, right? But it's been one of the best things that's ever happened to me because it's allowed me to become a value to myself and to other people. And through that, a lot of my anxieties has dissipated. Not all of them. I'm not perfect. I am a human being. I still have anxieties. I got deadlines. I got 16 people calling me in one day that need it done by tomorrow, and it's not possible, right? You can't please them. You can't get to them all unless you have an army of 100 individuals. But a lot of my worries in life have gone away by simply saying no and focusing on myself. You've never met one successful person that just put everybody before themselves. No, they don't exist. It can't exist because there's only 24 hours in the day. There's only 24 hours in today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. If you go devote 6 hours every single day and put others before you, well, you're going to be pretty tired by the time you get back to focus on you. And I know people are going to be like, oh, that's so. Well, guess what? You call it what you want to call it. This is my life, as it is your life. You do as you please. You just let me know how that's working out for you 25 years later. When you haven't been able to build you in a life for yourself and family, but you helped everybody else build theirs. And if you do enjoy that, I strongly encourage you to get into entrepreneurship, as I did. I found fulfillment and purpose through that. Nothing, I believe, out-trumps fulfillment and purpose. Purpose-driven life is absolutely phenomenal. You want to be grateful. You want to be joyful in life. Happy is kind of event-based, right? You get happy for a minute when a good thing happens in your life. But joyfulness, I believe, is more blissful and can be more present more often. But if you want those things, become purpose driven. And find whatever it is that fulfills you. And you don't necessarily have to like what it is in the beginning, but you can find purpose in it. And you can find fulfillment in it. You can be pouring coffees at McDonald's. You are providing a service for somebody. You are taking off 15 minutes of somebody's day that didn't have to make a pot of coffee and, do all the works it takes and wait for it to be done. You just saved that individual 15 minutes. If you can begin to think like that you're adding purpose and value into other people's lives, it's much easier to enjoy what it is you do for a living, whatever that is. I don't care what it is. If you're a janitorial service at the hospital, you are providing clean space for the already sick individuals coming into the hospital. That the dirtiness or the bacteria could make them sicker. Matter of fact, it could be so bad that it ends them. So it doesn't matter what you do, we can find purpose through the services we all provide. Doesn't have to be a business. Doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. It can simply be whatever job it is that you have right now, whatever career you have, whatever hobby you do, whatever giving back you do. Maybe you donate your time. We have a good friend that his wife is a cuddler. His wife goes into the hospitals and cuddles infants that are ill or premature or whatever. That's actually a thing. You can go do that. That's a purpose. She's adding purpose to her life. That's a beautiful thing. I lived all my life with no purpose. I wandered around aimless. I didn't know what the hell I was supposed to be doing. So I dropped everything. I didn't even know what to do during the day. So I just dropped everything and did everything for everybody else. And at the end of the day, it made me miserable after a period of time. I'm sharing my real life experiences because I know I'm not the only one that has done this. And somebody needs to hear it is 1,000% okay to say, nope, that's not going to fit in my schedule today. Sorry. No, you don't even have to say sorry. Don't say sorry. Just no. No is not a mean word. It is a complete sentence. Just like yes. The only people that will get offended to it is those that have expectations of you that they shouldn't have those expectations of you as. They should not have expectations that you should just drop everything and come running to them at every beck and call. Put what you want to do to the side and go rush to their aid. I mean, unless they're in harm's way or whatever. You get it. But you get it. That's selfish behavior of people that cannot take a no. If an individual you're around cannot take it when you say no, get away from them. Try it. Let them know why you're doing that. Give them a little explanation. Hey, I decided for the next 6 months, I'm devoting this time to me. If they can't accept that, you don't want them around you anyways. They're using the shit out of you. We have all probably been in situations where people have used us in an unhealthy manner. Now, we all use each other to an extent. I use all my relationships in a healthy manner. There's a big difference between healthy use, right? Because, first of all, you're not going to have a relationship if you're not going to get nothing out of it. You're not going to have a relationship. You're going to have to get something. It could just be socialization. It could just be an listening ear. It could be feedback. It could be opportunities. Or it could be just selfishness. To where the person just wants to use the shit out of you so they can get what they want. And they don't care whether you get what you want out of your life. That's true, and it happens. So don't be discouraged to say no. If you're a yes man or a woman, as I once was, the best thing you can ever do in your life is to begin to practice to say no. I love you all. Have a blessed day.